Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. So this is show number 2 of 3 shows in honor of my birthday. But before I introduce today's special guest, I want to thank you all so much who have ordered my book or who will be ordering it during the most important period in an author's timeline, which is between now and midnight on Sunday, April 3rd. If you do order it before then and save your receipt, either by giving us a screenshot or just a copy of the receipt by email to chefajbonus@yahoo.com, we'll send you almost $100 worth of bonuses, including 3 exclusive 2-hour cooking classes with the recipes and the MP3 files of the audio version before it goes on Audible. So thank you so much for getting this book. And speaking of books, we have a husband and wife team. They have a blog. It's a wonderful blog called Veg Paradise. And the lady of the duo, she's written several books, which we'll talk about. But what's really cool is one of them is also having a birthday today. And he's in his 90s, and they've been vegan for over 30 years. Please welcome my friends, Zel and Reuben. Alan, it's so nice to share a little time together on our birthdays.
Our pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. I can't believe it. So what's it like being in your 90s?
It's slow down, Reuben.
But it's still a rascal.
Yeah, that is great. So 30 years ago, you were in your 60s. Zell was in her 50s. You decided to go vegan. You already had 4 grown kids. How did that happen?
Well, basically, it was my tummy that started my cantankerous tummy. I was having issues. My stomach was disagreeing with me. And I was going to doctors. They didn't know what was wrong. And so they started doing all kinds. Nobody thought about lactose intolerance. Not once did that ever come up. So they were doing all kinds of upper and lower GIs and whatever, unpleasant tests. And nothing was showing anything. And finally, I got a little tired of that. That went on for months. And finally, somebody said, go to this alternative practitioner. She'll help you out. And it was very alternative. She practiced herbal medicine and acupuncture. And she liked to use a crystal. So she had me lie down. She rang a crystal across my tummy. And she could tell me I had lactose intolerance. And she had some herbs and everything, and it made a whole difference. Went without dairy products for a week. Everything turned around. My stomach felt so much better. And after about, maybe a month of that, then Reuben thought, well, gee, maybe I should leave the dairy products alone too, because he was having
Mucus problems.
Oh yeah, lots of that, and allergy kind of stuff. And rosacea. He was having rosacea. And being without the dairy for a little while just turned everything around for him too. And he said, wow, I guess I don't need that. Who needs that?
And she told you could do better as a vegetarian.
Right. That practitioner said, I think you could feel a whole lot better as a vegetarian. The meat is very hard to digest. And she said, try going without it. So yeah, it began to turn things around. First, I let go of the meat, and then it was the chicken, and then it was the fish and the eggs, and everything just was a period of over a couple of years that I made the transition.
That's incredible. I don't think I know this story, Zell. And sure. Did you notice any, I know that I've seen pictures of you where you were much heavier. I know you lost weight doing this. Did you notice any other physical changes in your body, either you or Reuben, when you went?
Or energy.
Big time energy. Oh my goodness. A world of difference. I slept better. I used to have an achy back, even getting in and out of bed, just so achy. I would wake up feeling achy. And after, maybe, I'm trying to remember, it must have been 6 months after, ditching the animal products. I woke up and I said, my back doesn't ache anymore. It was like, I'm sure it happened before that, but I became aware of it. And I realized that, wow, what a difference this whole thing has made. A world of difference. I felt so much better and happier. And that's the other thing. I think the energy gives you a happier outlook on life. If you don't ache, if you don't hurt, it makes you happier, of course. Aren't you happy to leave your aches and pains behind?
Yeah. How much weight did you lose? Because you're a little thing. You're not very tall.
I lost about 30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I was getting pretty plump. I weighed about 132 pounds, I think. And then I went down to about 100, 102. Yeah, maybe put a couple back on. But I was in the neighborhood of 100 to 105. Now, actually, I've shrunken a little bit over the years. I have, I'm on, I take thyroid medication, and that has had an effect, so I've lost a few inches. But I weigh less than 100, that's for sure. I don't have a weight problem.
And I was in the 160s, and now I'm down in high 130s.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how soon after going vegan did you guys start your blog?
I think we started
January 1999.
Yeah, it was several years. I think we went vegan, started doing that in the
90s.
late 1989, 1990, 91, around there. And then it was 1999 when we started the blog. Yeah.
You named it Vegetarians in Paradise. How come?
Well, nobody knew what vegan was.
That was
at
pretty
that
early
time.
on. Yeah. So we went with vegetarians. People had some idea what vegetarian was.
But all the recipes and things were vegan.
Yeah.
Well, you were a little bit before your time starting that blog.
Well, I had to learn HTML, and that was a challenge.
It was new, but it was exciting, We were getting emails from Australia, from England, from Europe, and places we're going.
Vanuatu.
Imagine an island called Vanuatu. And we were getting emails from that. So we have a map in our office here of the world. And we started putting little push pins on where we were getting these emails from. And pretty soon it's full of little push pins now, because we've gotten emails from everywhere in the world. Everywhere. It's kind of exciting.
Now, it comes out once a month, because I was looking at it right now and it said celebrating 23 years.
Yeah. Well, it's our 24th year.
Yeah.
Long time. In fact, the county gave us an award certificate that's hanging in our hallway.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of special. Yeah.
And for our 20th anniversary.
That's pretty amazing. Now, Zel, you have a lot of recipes on your blog that are yours. Have you always been such an outstanding cook?
Well, the funniest thing is when we got married, when we got married?
She couldn't cook at all. I was a better cook than her.
How long were you guys? I mean, not how long were you married? How long have you been married?
In June, it'll be 63 years.
That's amazing.
Pretty awesome, huh? And we still like each other.
I know. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What's interesting is because I've met your kids, they're wonderful, but none of them are vegan. And because they were all grown kids out of the house when you became vegan.
Well, they're happy to eat vegan when they're here, but they married spouses who were not vegan and not willing to go in that direction. But I noticed with both of them, when they have an opportunity, when they're alone, they will prepare vegan food for themselves. They were out of the house when we were starting all this, so they didn't really grow up with it. So, but the fact that we've been doing this for a number of years, they've gotten acquainted with all the vegan food.
Zel is such a good cook, and if it's tasty, they'll all eat it.
Well, I've been to your house, and one of the things I miss about LA is coming to your annual luau. Do you guys think if you had gotten this information sooner, you might have raised your kids or some of them vegan?
Oh, sure. Oh yeah, if we had tuned into this many, many years earlier, all the kids would have been, eating vegan. Maybe Bruce not completely. Bruce was the
Carnivore.
dedicated carnivore. But you know what? It's interesting. He lives in the Philippines, and he is now finding vegan items coming to the market in his area. And he's trying them out, and he's saying, it's not bad. And he's happy to eat vegan when he's here. So yeah, I think they might have all been vegan. Maybe they would have been tempted to go maybe half and half because of friends and stuff like
Well,
that.
Chuck is
Social
a
life.
pescatarian.
He's
And
he's the closest, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are their favorite of the items that you make or the dishes that you make vegan? Does each of your 4 kids have a favorite, and does Reuben have a favorite? And do you have a favorite of your own recipes?
Do we have a favorite? I think the thing is that it's so much fun to explore something new. And when I was growing up, my mother was a very good cook, but she cooked about the same dozen things over and over and over again. How about your mom?
she was too busy running a grocery store. So we ate out of a lot of cans. Heinz vegetarian beans, for example, and Franco-American spaghetti.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. But you didn't have a lot of nuance in your.
No.
So, and neither did I. So when I started working, after I graduated high school, I started working as a secretary at Rocketdyne, ate in their cafeteria. And I was seeing all kinds of unique things, showing up there. And I was happy to try new things. And that has never, ever stopped. I love to try new things. And Reuben, luckily, loves to try new things too. When we started dating, he was taking me to restaurants that I'd never eaten Mexican food, believe it or not, in living in our home. I've never eaten
French
food. So we started exploring, and I just loved the idea of new things, new flavors. And that kind of woke up a thing in our own little kitchen. So over the years, I became a pretty good cook because there weren't a lot of when we got married, there were a few restaurants, but not a lot. People were mostly cooking at home. I'm talking ancient times here. Yeah, it really goes back a bit.
Well, you're also an accomplished author. You've got 2 books, Vegan for the Holidays, and your first book, Nut Gourmet. You wrote this like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah. Yeah, it's got some good information about nuts in general.
In fact, a couple of weeks ago, she made a dish out of the cookbook.
I do from time to time. I've got a few favorites that I have in there. And,
Mulligatawny soup. And
mulligatawny soup. Yes.
My favorite of all your recipes is your pozole.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Recently, I made a vegan version of Pastizio. You familiar with Pastizio?
I'm not.
This is a Greek dish. Many years ago, before I got into cooking and vegan stuff, I was a belly dancer, and one of the places where I danced was a Greek restaurant, and I got very acquainted with the wife who did all the cooking. She taught me how to make pastizio, which is like a Greek lasagna with different flavors, and it's noodles on the bottom, a meat sauce, and a bechamel on top. You can do this all vegan. It's just a marvelous little.
in fact, I have a picture of her Zel and I have a picture of Zel in her costume.
Oh dear, my belly dance costume.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Wow, we'd like to see that.
Want to see that?
Well, I have to share.
Can you do this? Is it doable?
Do you want to?
Make me a co-host and I'll share.
Yeah. Sure. I can enable screen share, no problem whatsoever. I've seen you. You would wear a long wig, wouldn't you, Zel? When you were
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I spent 2 hours doing makeup. It was a big deal. And the most rewarding thing was one time I danced at Universal Studios, and the makeup artist for that show, after I danced, she said, "Can you come back to my little dance?" She said, "I want to take a picture of your makeup. I want to take a look and see what you did." And I thought, wow, that's really kind of neat. So wait till you see. Can you get it?
Well, she has to make me a co.
No, but I have it so that you can screen share. Let's see how I do. How do I make somebody a co-host? That is not some. Do you know what button I push? I've never had to do that. You can't just push the button that says screen share. Is the picture on your computer? Because that could do it. I could. Well, you keep talking, and I'll Google how to make you a co-host. How's that? Let's see. Participants. You got a new one on me. Let's see. Make co-host. There you go, Reuben. There you go. Make co-host. Perfect. You're a co-host now. Figured it out.
Okay.
In the meantime, I want to thank Alyssa for the super chat donation. Thank you so much. You know, I found a video of you guys on YouTube of your marriage. Do you know what I'm talking about? This.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was in black and white. Long time ago.
They didn't know about colored pictures in those days.
That is so cute.
So how do you get it so that she can see it? Okay. Can you see it?
We had a big belly dance party at our house, and we had musicians.
Oh my God, you're so sexy.
Wasn't I sexy?
Oh my God. Like
Yeah.
Scheherazade.
No kidding. And that was Reuben in his
Caftan and
yeah. How about that?
Whoa, hubba.
Hilton's
Oh,
outfit.
Yeah, that was a kick. Yeah. I taught classes. I taught belly dance classes.
That's before you were vegan?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And after 4 kids.
Holy moly.
I used a lot of belly makeup, I'll tell you that. After 4 kids, you get a little stretch mark. So I used a special makeup that would cover up the stretch marks, sort of. So yeah, it worked.
But the eyes haven't.
That was beautiful.
All right.
Okay. Let me
close that up. All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Zel, you spent a lot of years being a culinary instructor at libraries and other places. Are you still teaching any cooking? That's how we met. I came to your house a long time ago for a cooking class.
That. Yes. That was before we did the website, yes?
I don't even know how I found out about it, but I did. I remember you made all kinds of spreads. It was delicious.
Yeah. Well, this was kind of early on when I was beginning to learn how to do vegan things, because there were no cookbooks around at that time. There were a couple of vegetarian cookbooks around, but everything had cheese and dairy products. So I was just kind of playing in the kitchen on my own. And it was fun. I kind of came up with a few good things, and I thought, I should share this. I feel so good. Everybody else should feel this good. It was that kind of thing. I in my enthusiasm, I felt everybody else should feel this great. So how did we let people know? I don't remember how we let people know.
Yeah, that I don't even remember, but I'm glad I got to meet you. Jerry Cook, who's watching live, says you're one of his favorite couples.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. That's so sweet.
They stayed here. A couple of them came to the events that the Nelsons did.
Oh,
and they came, and Jeff Nelson said, "Do you have a room for a few people?" And we said, "Yeah, the kids have moved out.
we got
We have a couple bedrooms. And one of the couples, he was a Mountie, for the only vegan Mountie for the Canadian police, Royal Police.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was celebrated in Canada as the only Canadian Mountie.
Hilda and Willie. I remember them fondly. Yeah. How about that? So,
So before you changed your diet for health reasons, I'm guessing you weren't really a standard American diet eater, were you guys? I mean, because you,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
were.
Yeah,
We ate it all.
we
Oh,
ate
yeah.
everything.
When we first got married, I really did not know how to cook. But when we were engaged, Reuben bought me several cookbooks. That was his insurance. He would get a good meal. He might get a good meal. He was hoping. So it not knowing how to cook, it took me a long time to make a recipe, to put out a meal. And after a while, I got pretty good at it. But I was cooking everything and gaining weight. Yeah, I got a little plump for a while. I did. So,
Kenny Malcolm's watching.
hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I've been asking him to come to the desert and see if you guys can, if he'll drive you.
Oh, yeah, wow. Well, yeah, have him get in touch.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there for very long, though, are you?
Who knows? Hey, should we tell them about our little salt and pepper shaker?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Absolutely.
That's one of the funnest things. So guys, we many years ago, before I started teaching at True North during the holiday season, we'd always have like a Jewish Christmas, and we'd have like a get together with a secret Santa where you exchange gifts. And I don't know exactly how this happened, but one of the gifts one of us ended up with was this, it's like not real crystal, it was like acrylic or lucite or plastic salt and pepper shaker. And I don't remember if we both wanted it or neither of us wanted it, but it became the thing like those little gnomes where we would hide it at each other's houses anytime we were there. And then sometimes it would take days for people to find it in the shower.
You wanted it.
I think
You
won it. And then on the next round, I could choose from any of the gifts that anybody had, or I could choose something from the table. But that salt shaker was a real, that was a winner. So I took it from you. And then in that same game, you took it back and I got it back a second time. I took it home. And so I think somehow we started trading it and putting it in secret, places where whatever it went back and forth from each of our homes. It was very funny. It was
the funniest time was when I put it in your jacket and you didn't even know.
Didn't know. You really got me there.
We had so much fun with that. I miss you guys and Kenny and all the gang.
We have it now.
We have it now somewhere.
Yeah, I somehow, even living in the desert, found its way back to you. That is.
Do you miss it?
Well, a little bit, but here's the funny thing though. I don't eat salt and I'm allergic to pepper. So what the heck do I need a salt and pepper shaker for, right?
Well, you could put a little bit of oregano in there.
I know it's just the game is the fun part, of course. Are you still doing any recipe creation at all?
All the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Do you write them? Do you write your ideas down? Is there another book in you that we are going to be able to look forward?
I kind of go back and forth.
And it's on our website.
I'm going to post that Pastizio. I think probably later in the year because it's a hearty dish. It's not a summer kind of dish. It's something that maybe October, November kind of thing might work out. It's a very nice, delicious dish.
So you send out one newsletter a month. How long does it take you guys to do that and to work on it?
Well, what would you say?
Well, we work on it all month long, but in the last 2 weeks of the month, we put it together.
Yeah, I'm always trying to develop some new recipes to put on there.
I have a special thing called the silly stuff, and I gather COVID-19 jokes and signs and all kinds of stuff. And it's laughable.
When the COVID thing first started, there was some pretty silly stuff about toilet paper. And so, Reuben would find these things, post them up there. And it was just, everybody needed a laugh at those times. It got pretty serious. So there was a lot of opportunity to laugh. And it's a good healthy thing to do a big belly laugh. So each month he finds new things to add.
Don't they know we're in the middle of a show here? Just kidding. So tell us, how is your health? Do you think if it's good that you attribute your diet to any of the successes you've had in the health arena? Because Reuben, you had lung cancer.
Yeah. But
and you weren't a smoker either, right?
No, but I was around a lot of people who smoked. And when you went to a music club, jazz club, your eyes were burning because of everybody smoking. And people smoked in restaurants and all kinds of events. And somehow I recovered very quickly from that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm missing one lobe.
Wow. The right or the left, or does it matter? Are they both equally important?
It was the left lobe, I think.
The left lobe.
Yeah.
And it hasn't slowed me down because we walk a couple miles a day.
Sometimes more.
And sometimes up to 4 miles.
That's amazing. Are there any downsides to being so healthy at this age? Like, have you outlived all of your friends and family?
Well, I think
no.
family's still here. Friends, yes, there have been friends that have been lost. I think Reuben's SAGE group, which is his learning and retirement group, they've lost some members, and that was kind of a sad thing. None of them vegan, because Reuben was the oddball in his SAGE group.
We would invite members of our SAGE group for dinner, and they didn't know how to reciprocate. So one of them decided to invite us and took recipes from Zel's cookbook because she knew they were safe, and invited us to dinner, and she did very well.
Yeah, that was kind of a neat thing to do. Yeah. Unfortunately, she is no longer with us.
Have you outlived the age where your parents passed away?
Oh.
My father was a diabetic, and he lived to 56 years.
And my father died in 61.
My mother was in her 90s when she passed away, but she was out to lunch mentally.
My mother died at 89, but I think she also lost her memory a couple of years before that. But I think with that older generation, they were cooking and eating before processed food came along. So they were buying fresh fruits and vegetables before they were doused in chemicals and stuff. So I think they had a healthier start. And later on, when chemicals came along, I think that kind of,
Yeah, but your father was not healthy.
No, he was not. He was not. He was a big meat eater. Yeah.
So one of the questions that almost every guest on the show gets asked is, tell us, what do you guys eat in a day? Take us through a day's worth of eating for both of you.
What's your favorite breakfast, sweetie?
Well, muesli. Bob's makes a muesli, which is in a big package, and 7 Sundays makes a gluten-free muesli, and we have that with fruit, cut up apples and bananas and whatever
I
else.
chop up a big bowl of fruit and we throw that in there. I think one of my favorite things is a tofu stir fry that we do for breakfast with lots of veggies and definitely onions. We love sauteed onions and tofu together. That is delicious. So that's one of our favorite breakfasts. We'll have it with like a whole wheat bread with a maybe some avocado on it for a little spread. That's nice and quick and easy. For lunch, sometimes last night's leftovers will be a lunch, or sometimes we'll do a
Granada Tostada.
oh, Granada Tostada. That's one of our little go-to things. It's a tortilla, and I'll do some refried beans on top of that. Chop up a bunch of little shredded carrots, shredded lettuce, chopped up tomatoes. We'll throw a little vegan cheese on there and a little salsa, and we've got a wonderful little lunch. That's one of our favorites. For dinner, what's our favorite?
Polenta.
Oh, yeah. Reuben likes polenta, and I'll put things like a tomato sauce on it. Maybe I'll put a little pesto on there, and that's kind of tasty. I can chop up some, saute up some tofu with a little bit of soy sauce on it, make it very tasty.
And Zel makes tasty pesto sauce.
So that's some of the things we like to eat for dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever. But it varies a lot. I like to explore new recipes. Sometimes I'll go online and I'll see standard recipes and I'll think, I can make that vegan. And once you start doing vegan things, it's easier to do more vegan. You can veganize stuff. You can veganize anything.
Absolutely. Veronica, who's watching live, wants to know, do you guys use oil?
We do, but not huge amounts. We make it minimal. Pesto needs a little oil in our little kitchen. So pesto probably has more oil than what we would normally do. I might use a teaspoon or two for sauteing something.
Does water saute?
Water saute works really well. You do have to kind of be attentive to it though, because you can't walk away from it. Otherwise stuff would burn or stick, But yeah, it works. A little bit of oil. It's been all right. We have not had any heart issues, so we felt it was okay to use a little oil.
But you love your salt.
Love the salt, yes.
Well, Zel has a condition where she has to eat salt.
Yeah, I had a thing where my body would sort of lose sodium. My electrolytes would just sort of drop into the, it was bad. So my doctor said, eat salt, eat salt, eat salt. And I kept doing that and kept doing that. Finally, now it's back up to the normal level. So, but I do take a sodium tablet morning and nighttime, strangely enough. I mean, who on the earth takes a sodium tablet? It's not supposed to be good for you to have too much salt. But in order to maintain my sodium levels, it's a necessity, which is kind of strange for most people.
What do your doctors think about you? Because are you a medical mystery to them?
Well, kind of a phenomenon for Reuben's doctor is just in awe.
He said to his nurse, you see these two? They're going to live to 120.
We're working on it.
No discouraging remarks about our vegan diet.
Yeah.
They all are for it. In fact, we have a minimum amount of pills. I take one pill at night for my prostate and 2 Tylenols for my arthritis. And that's
very recent. His arthritis is very, very recent. Not something he lived with for a long time. I do take the sodium. Sodium is wonderful, and so we're not on big pills or anything. It's kind of nice. We don't have heart condition. We don't have most of the diseases that a lot of people come.
And my father was a diabetic, and I I'm very cautious about going down that road.
Yeah. There's a question. What are your favorite mushrooms?
Oh. Love shiitake. And there's one called bunapi, which are these little thin stems, cute little button heads on them. It's called bunapi. And those are
Maitake.
maitake. Well, that's different. But the little bunapi that had the little kind of heads on them, they're so cute. Really, really delicious. That's one of my favorites. Maitake is your favorite, would you say?
Well, it's good, tasty.
What's your favorite?
And there's another one that we get from the farm. We get a farm box every week, and it's all organic, and the fruit is delicious.
The vegetables are gorgeous, delicious.
You order ahead of romaine, and it's like you almost need 2 bags for it.
Yeah, it's very healthy, healthily grown. Beautiful stuff.
That's wonderful. Jill says, do you guys eat dessert often or just fruit?
Oh, we like a little dessert. Yes, it's good stuff. What do I do for dessert?
Ginger cookies.
I recently baked some ginger cookies. These are awesome. And for Reuben's birthday, you won't believe this. This is chocolate day. Chocolate is one of his things. So we did chocolate muffins, vegan, for breakfast. For lunch, he had a little bit of chocolate bar. It's all vegan, I know, for treat. And for tonight, Amy baked a chocolate cake, all vegan. So it's it's chocolate day today.
And Breyers makes a chocolate ice cream that's vegan, and we get that from Amazon Fresh.
So we do like a little ice cream, but not every night. I would say we out kind of
once a week.
We switch back and forth. One night we'll do a little something naughty. Another night we'll do a little fruit. Reuben loves peanuts. So peanuts is a big nosher kind of thing. You know, he likes to nosh peanuts.
Well, we knew he was nuts, right?
We both are.
He shares my birthday. Susanna says, how active are you guys during the day? I mean, you say you walk between 2 and 4 miles a day. Is that you do that just one time a day?
Yeah, but we walk for about an hour and a half. So so that's the walking. But in the house here, we walk back and forth. We have a long hallway, so we get from one end of the house to the other. If we need to go to the bathroom, it's a long walk. So we get a lot of steps in.
We have O'Melveny Park near us, and it's a mile away. So we walk there and then walk around the park, and that takes us a couple of hours, and we do that maybe once a week.
No, a couple of times a week.
Couple times.
We don't go during the weekend because it's very crowded there. During the week, it's like we feel we own the park. Hardly anybody was there. So we just adore the park. We go there, we sit on a bench sometimes, watch the birds, and watch the little squirrels. So this time of year, the squirrels are active, the birds are very chirpy, and watch the lizards running around. So
it's being away from the big city.
Yeah, but we are active. You know, we're around the house. I'm moving, I'm cooking, and Reuben is sometimes he's folding laundry and that kind of thing. So we stay active. We do, you know, sit for hours and hours and hours. We're busy.
They want to know, do you drink lots of water?
Reuben drinks plenty of water. I am limited because of my sodium thing. The doctors were worried if I drink too much water, it dilutes the sodium. So I am limited, this is going to sound a little strange, to 40 ounces of water.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a lot. But surprisingly, it's more than enough. I cheat sometimes if we have a little soup, or if I want a cup of tea, I'll cheat a little bit, but not every day, because I'm trying to not dilute my sodium.
With breakfast, I have probably a quart of water.
Well, you
It
drink.
makes my stomach move.
Oh boy. Zel, do you think you guys have been, you'd personally been able to be vegan for over 30 years if Reuben hadn't joined you in this journey?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. It would have been challenging to make two different preparations. I think I would have, because I felt so much better. It was just so noticeable. I felt so much better.
I feel I wouldn't be alive today if I were not vegan. My father died at 56 and was a diabetic, and I didn't want to go down that road.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know who's watching is Dr. Daryl Woodruff. He says, we used to go to the Allen home for their annual Christmas potluck. Great.
Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Daryl. How you doing? How nice to see. Nice to know you're there. Oh, that's great. Well, we haven't done any parties in the last couple of years. We are in COVID
slowed
mode.
down a little bit.
We've slowed down, but we're also in COVID mode. We haven't seen anybody.
Do you think once the whole world returns to normal, you might do some cooking again or some cooking classes?
No.
No, I think not.
They're really hard, aren't they? Just the schlep factor.
Yes.
Oh, that was a big
And
deal.
I was the big roadie.
Yeah. I remember that. I took your class at Glendale's, I think it was Glendale City College.
Yeah, Glendale Community College, yeah.
City College.
I think my last class was in the library. Which library was that? Do you remember?
2016.
2016, yeah. It was one of the libraries. And then we went on a big vacation to France. Had a wonderful time. And I said, I think we're kind of done with classes. It is just getting a little too much to schlep boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff to create 6 different stations and all the utensils, all the food. It was fun. I loved doing it, but it took me a week to prepare for each class just because of what was involved.
And a couple of years after that, we were getting calls from libraries.
Yeah.
Would you come to my library and do your cooking class?
Yeah. No, we said, no, we're done.
Yeah, people don't realize until they've done it how much goes into the preparation of a
Labor intensive.
Yep, you gotta
Rewarding, not monetarily. We didn't make a lot of money at that. It was just rewarding knowing that we're sharing something that a lot of people were not even aware of. That you could actually make foods taste good, even though it doesn't have meat.
Do you ever speak anywhere, like, I don't know, like at assisted living or places where people could be inspired by you guys?
No, we really haven't. We really haven't, have we?
No.
Well, I think that was 2016. And then COVID, recently. So that sort of put everything on hold. Yeah. So no, I haven't. I would be happy to, but that it just hasn't come up.
Yeah. Well, Jill says, kudos to both of you for living such a nice lifestyle.
Thank you, Jill. It was actually a reward to be able to discover a better way to live. It's actually been a better way to live, and people don't know it. I think the thing when I first started going vegan, after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was thinking, gee, I feel so much better. I feel so much more energy. And that's the thing I think people tune into early on, the fact that they feel so much more energetic early on. It doesn't take long before you realize that there's a boost in energy. And that should be a selling point right away.
Well, and just not being on all the medications and all the other things and all the other vagaries of old age.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I wish Jackie says you guys are an adorable couple. I wish that other people your age or even younger could see you and see what's possible, because I remember working at the retirement home. I mean, people were 20 years younger than you and in horrible shape from lifestyle diseases.
Oh, I know. I know. When my mom went into a retirement home, it was kind of sad to walk around there and see people who were younger than her. She was in her 80s when she went into the home. But it was sad to see people younger than her in there, and not in good shape. Not in good shape.
Right.
Yeah.
A Spirit Junkie says, thank you for your contributions to the vegan community. I'm sure you have influenced some of my mentors. I bet you guys are going to outlive some of your doctors.
That could very well be. Well, my doctor is young, and okay. My hematologist is vegan, and she was excited about our website. So we've talked a little bit, and so that's kind of neat. That's really kind of neat that you can share with
Vegparadise.com.
Yeah.
Yep, we've got it, been putting in the chat. It's in the show notes. So Reuben, your 91st birthday, any special plans?
Living to 100.
All right. Well, I'll book you right now for your 100th birthday.
That's a deal.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to cook something really special for that meal.
Oh my God, I'll be 70 then. Yikes. Oh my. People are
You're a kid. You're just a kid.
you people are saying you have such nice skin. Do you have any beauty secrets, or is it just all the plants?
It's interesting. Many years ago, we used to go to the Natural Products Expo, which was where all the food.
I remember you used to schlep me, remember?
Yeah. All the food vendors would come and show their new products. And I remember we were at one booth, and somebody came up to me and said, "Your skin is so beautiful. What's your secret?" And the truth is, there was, I guess, a lot of fruits and vegetables. I was a kid who liked vegetables. My mother didn't have any trouble getting me to eat my veggies. I just loved vegetables. And I like the green things. I like the spinach, and I like the broccoli and that kind of thing. And to this day, I cook a lot of vegetables. When we used to shop at the market and load up the basket to the brim, people would say, "How big is your family?" And they would just almost not believe when I said, "It's just the two of us." How do you put all those vegetables in the refrigerator? Well, we do have 2 refrigerators. I have a great big one out in the garage. So yes, I would say, eat a lot of vegetables. It is so beneficial for the complexion.
That's what I've been saying. I couldn't agree more. You both are very creative. Reuben, do you still do your calligraphy?
No, my hand is steady, but I can't see the small print, and it's a challenge. In fact, I'm going to sell my stuff, leftover stuff. I have all kinds of pens and pen holders and ink and all.
You want to come to a hot calligraphy sale?
Well, Reuben, can we say who one of your students was? Is that allowed?
Sure.
Somebody very famous in the plant-based movement was your student.
Oh, when I was an English teacher at Millikan Junior High School, and John Robbins was one of the students that I taught. And going back to those days when I was young and energetic, I think I was in my 30s then. And it was a fun time.
Was John Robbins a good student? Because he's a good writer now.
Well, I don't know if I can take credit for his writing ability.
Would he remember you?
I'm not sure.
Hopefully I'll have him on the show and I'll ask him. Here's a question. Have either of you ever tried a raw diet?
You know, when you're in the vegan world, you do experience it. We've been to a few raw events, and I think we tried it just a little bit. You know, just
We met Brendan Brazier, and he wrote a vegan fame, Vega fame,
yeah. Vegan.
and he's very successful. And I think he was totally raw then, and maybe now.
I don't know if he's totally raw now. We went to a few events and we sort of toyed with it a little bit, but it wasn't satisfying as a full-time thing. You know, I mean, in the summertime, you want to eat more raw food, that kind of thing. But wintertime, I don't know. I like a nice hot soup.
Yeah. Oh, here's a great question. What is your favorite kitchen or food preparation gadget?
Oh, gadget, vegetable peeler, simple and universal. Vegetable peeler. That was a great job on carrots.
You know, I got to let you go because it's Reuben's birthday. These are probably all phone calls wishing him happy birthday. But I'm curious, do you have any people that you admire in the plant-based world? What have you seen in the last 30 years? Documentaries, books, chefs, doctors? Who are your favorites?
Hang on, the phone is ringing.
Hey, Joan, I'll call you back in a little bit, okay? Okay, bye. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. My phone's been blowing up today too. We share a birthday with Heather McDougall, actually. Actually, a lot of people.
Really?
I think it's William Shatner's birthday too, and I think he's vegan.
Oh, yes, right.
Repeat the question again.
Oh, just over the last 30 years, have you seen any people in this space that you would either admire, either maybe books you've read, documentaries you've seen, chefs, restaurants you've tried, just who inspires you?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you something, AJ. You're an inspiration. Truly, you really are. Yeah. You kind of give us a little heads up on just kind of getting out there a little bit, because you've done that, and it was not an easy thing for me because I've basically been a shy person.
We're both shy people.
Yeah. So getting out there and doing that stuff was definitely an inspiration. Who else was an inspiration?
Did you know that William Shatner is also 91 today, Reuben?
Really?
1931. Yeah, I just looked it up. I knew it was his birthday. I didn't realize you guys were the same age.
I wonder what he's eating to make him so plump. He's a plump boy.
Yeah, I can get him on the show and ask. I don't know.
He might be willing.
I wish. I mean, I loved him, and obviously all the work.
We loved Star Trek. We adored Star Trek.
He was in a movie recently called Palm Springs. It was wonderful as a comedy, and he was fantastic.
Did we see Palm Springs?
No.
We saw it in a movie recently. What if it was Palm Springs? You know what? It was. We saw that.
It was really good, wasn't it?
That was cute. It was cute. Yeah, really cool. So I'm trying to think of, is there someone who inspires us? I think when we went to some of the vegan events, like Dr. McDougall, he was an inspiration, and Dr. Esselstyn, big inspiration. Absolutely, yeah. And they were just such good folks.
He's catching up to you. Dr. Campbell and Dr. Esselstyn are catching up to you pretty soon, Reuben.
Yeah.
They're not too far behind. So
Yeah.
Janet wants to know if you guys grow any vegetables in a garden.
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, this morning I just picked lettuce for our salad for dinner tonight. Yes, because of my back, I'm not able to get down there on the ground as easily and get back up again. So I grow in pots, and I'm growing arugula. I've got lettuce of all kinds of varieties. I got radishes. I've got tomato. I got a tomato plant that's got little
watermelon radish.
Watermelon
Delicious.
radishes. Yeah. Those are awesome. What else? Kale. Kale is doing beautifully. Kale is very happy right now. And I got mint and oregano. And what else have I got? For the most part, green onions. Oh, you know what grows easily is potatoes. You let a couple of little, if you like potatoes, if you got some varieties of potatoes you like, let it kind of go to sprouts, kind of keep it in a dark place, let it sprout a little bit. You cut out those little areas around the sprouts, cut the sprout, plant the sprout, and you will have potatoes. Takes a
You
while.
have to wait a while.
It takes about 60, 65, 70 days. And you can have potatoes, homegrown potatoes. They're delicious.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't love potatoes? You know what I really admire about your food, Zel, is you always make it so pretty. Did you take any like design classes to be able to make all the sculptures out of the fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, I took some garnishing classes many years ago. There was this one woman who taught garnishing. What was her name? I can't remember her name. She was a terrible cook, but she could garnish. So I learned a few techniques, and then I began buying books on garnishing and did my own thing. But I think she was the jumpstart. And there was also an Asian woman who taught some unique garnishing, and that also got me to buy some. I think she sold a book on garnishing. So yeah, I got several cookbooks on garnishing.
Zel feels that it not only should taste good, but look good.
It's food for the eyes, you know. You want to feed the eyes, you want to feed the taste buds, you want to feed the nose, and so, and it's interesting. My years ago, somebody asked why you clink glasses with wine, and my grandfather said, "Well, you know, you get these wonderful things when you can smell food, you can taste food." But the ears don't get any pleasure from food except when you clink glasses and then you drink the wine. The ears get a little pleasure from the clink.
Wow, that's really neat. Yeah, I think there's a question from Kara. Do you guys play games? And if so, what's your favorite game to play?
Sex.
This has been a day. That's what Dr. McDougall talked about today. Boy, March 22nd. Whew.
He's a fresh boy. He's a fresh boy.
OMG.
Yeah. 91, still a fresh boy.
That's why I call you guys tigers.
Yeah. You started that from the very beginning.
Yep.
How did you start that? What made you do that?
I don't know exactly, but I guess I must have sent something.
Yeah, you did.
That is funny. You know, this might be a good question to end on because I think it's really wonderful. It's from Diane, and she asks, what is a life lesson that they would like to tell people today that they have learned?
Well, for me, I would say nobody's perfect. Accept people for, you know, where they are, and recognize that you can't change people. They would really have to be ready to make changes themselves. So if your family is not vegan and you want to make them vegan, you can't make them vegan. Accept them as they are. One of the best selling points is to cook a delicious vegan meal and invite them over. That's the best selling point. What else would you say is good?
Be kind to everyone, including your 3 cats.
Yeah, we got 3 cats.
Oh, that is great. Well, it's so fun spending time with you. You come back on your 100th, but you can come back sooner too, if you like.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure, AJ.
It's so great to, and if you ever decide, you know, Zel, that you want to do, like, I know it's really hard to do cooking classes because the schlepping, but if you're cooking in your own home anyway, if you ever just want to come on the show, and I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of that recipe that you just said that was that special recipe that you're going to add to the blog.
Oh, Pastizio.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it wouldn't be that hard just to do, we could do like a Zoom like this. You could just do one recipe. It doesn't have to be like a whole hour or anything, you know?
Let me give that some thought. My kitchen is not set up for that.
You could do it on your phone if you have an iPhone. A lot of my guests just use their iPhone. Just like this, they put it on a little tripod and it works beautifully.
Interesting.
Yeah, we can get that set up. I bet people would love to see that recipe and see you cook.
Let me give that a thought. I need to
Supreme-
perfect it. You know,
Supreme Master did a show on our house where Zel and Diana Friedberg,
we did a Passover meal. Oh yeah,
no,
it was Passover meal, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Let me give that some thought. I have to perfect my Pastizio recipe. You know, when you do something once, it's not perfect yet. So I gotta.
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yes, I would say so. Yeah.
That is great. Well, I know that your family lives all over the place in different countries, in different cities, and I know they're all there to celebrate your 91st birthday. So I'll let you go. Hey, Kenny said he'll come over and help. He can set up the camera, or he could even just hold the phone.
Oh, thank you, Kenny. I'll just take you up on that. That sounds great. Let me do that. Let me perfect that recipe, and then I'll be happy to share.
Kenny will do anything where there's food in the equation. So just so you know.
Oh, and you'll get to eat the wonderful meal. Absolutely.
Oh man, well, it's great catching up with you guys, especially on your birthday. Congratulations, Reuben, 91 years young. And
How are you going to celebrate?
Believe it or not, I'm going live at 5 o'clock with another show where I'm going to be cooking new recipes from my book. But we're going to celebrate in a couple of weeks after book launch is over and go to the Magic Theater, which I love. I love comedy and magic, and Charles is taking me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
and my friend is taking me to Chris Rock. So I have plans. This just doesn't happen to be today.
That's fantastic. Enjoy. And
well, I hope I see you, because Kenny said he might be able to drive you guys here, which would be amazing. So thanks, guys. Happy birthday, Reuben. Enjoy your time with your family.
and happy birthday
to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And happy birthday to you, William Shatner. If you're watching, we love you and we'd love to have you on the show. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. In addition to the live cooking demo at 5 p.m., please come back tomorrow at the regular time of 11 a.m. when my guest is Dr. Lily Rosenthal, and she's going to be talking about pain management, plant-based style. That might be a good show for you to watch, Reuben, because maybe like there's other ways to manage your arthritis pain without Tylenol. Who knows?
That'd be great. When is that going to be?
Tomorrow at 11, because you know they have these little machines now, like tens. I mean, who knows? I haven't met her, but maybe there's other techniques we can learn tomorrow at 11.
All right. Thanks, AJ.
All right. Have a great dinner with your